Okay, welcome to War Movies Reviews. Again, we are doing Saving Private Ryan, which is directed by Steven Spielberg, one of my favorite directors of all time, and stars Tom Hanks, Matt Damon, Vin Diesel, Tom Sizemore, Errol Burns, Barry Pepper, Giovanni Ribisi, and the plot of this movie is Captain John Miller takes his men behind enemy lines to find Private James Ryan, whose three brothers who were all killed in combat. Surrounded by the brutal realities of war while searching for Ryan, each man embarks upon a personal journey and discovers their own strength to triumph over an uncertain future with honor, decency, and courage. And that is the basic premise of this movie. This came out in 1998. I was just a little kid when I was just born when this movie came out. I was born in August, so didn't see this one until later on. But this is a freaking great movie right here. Now, this movie is known for its graphic portrayal of war. I will say this is not for your kids. This is a very hard R, and it is a well-deserved R. And the war in this movie, it's intense. The war is intense. And the first 27 minutes is the depiction of the Omaha Beach assault during the Normandy landings. It follows the United. And those first 27 minutes tells you what kind of movie this is going to be. This ain't going to be no PG-13 kiddie rod war film. This is a very intense war film with a lot of graphic violence. And then when they do show this movie on TV, they do show it on. They have shown this on TV, especially on TNT. I like the use of desaturated colors, tight angles, and handheld cameras. Steven Spielberg uses all that very well, and this movie is credited in contributing to a resurgence in America's interest in World War II. Old and new films, video games, novels. Without this, you wouldn't have other war movies I like. Like, the battle scenes in here is intense. It's intense. There's a lot of blood and carnage. It's intense. The acting in here is great. The acting in here is magnificent. All the acting in this movie is great. Great, okay? Great. And I know some people are going to say, Josh, the movie is too long. Don't you have a problem with that? No. This movie is 2 hours and 49 minutes, the same length as Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. Didn't feel it here. The difference between this and Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End was there's no blood in here. And they showed this on ABC, and they do give this movie a TVMA rating on ABC and on TNT, but this is a very intense war movie. It's not for your kids. Do not show this movie to your kids, because they're going to be stunned by the intensity of war. John Williams' score is great too. Mr. John Williams, you are the freaking man. You don't. He never has a bad score. Never. People say his stuff in Star Wars Force Awakens was bad. No, it still feels like a Star Wars score, just not as much as you wanted it to. But the technical achievements are great. Everything about this movie is great. The only problem I do have is that I do feel like the movie does take a little while to get going. But once it gets going, and it holds you in for the ride, for the beginning to end. And Saving Private Ryan is just a great movie. If you have not seen this movie, don't be afraid to go in with an open mind. If you're not a fan of war movies, you're not going to like this movie, even if it's Steven Spielberg. But this is one of my favorite Steven Spielberg movies. It's not in my top 10. I will do the video on that soon. But I have to say that this movie is great. Really great. And this movie is all kinds of awesome. So yes, Saving Private Ryan is one of the best movies ever created. Is my third favorite war movie, and is one of my favorite Steven Spielberg movies, period. So in that, this movie is going to get my JDRSA. Let me know what you guys think about this movie down below, and I will see you guys later for more war movies. If you like this, you can come here and we can have a good time.